Captain's log number 7. One of the other things I did besides read books was I watched any film I could get my hands on. Had to do with sailing. There was a bunch of cool ones. There was none that really, not many that come to mind, but just about, sailing adventures, or there was another one about being lost at sea and then getting attacked by sharks or something. But one that really stood out was, I can't remember the name of it, but it's about this guy. Maybe I'll think of it. It's about this guy, Donald Crowhurst. And he was another one of the guys that participated in the Around the World race. But Donald Crowhurst, he was just like a weekend sailor. He was like, he didn't really know what he was doing. He had some money. He was interested in trying, which is like noble, hats off to him. But he didn't really know what he's doing, and I think he was, in over his head. So he got going and pretty quickly realized he didn't know what he was doing. His boat was having trouble. He was pretty far off course and hadn't made it very far. And he was, rather than like just being like, you know what, I gave it a good try, or asking for help or whatever, he started faking his position. So he I guess you have to, like, back in those days, you had to like chart your position and you would radio it in or whatever, and that's how they knew who was winning the race. So as far as people at home were concerned, this guy was like in second or third place, but what he actually was doing was like going in circles, or was shipwrecked like not too far from the start. And he ended up losing his mind, I think committing suicide, I think there's like something to be said there about like imposter syndrome, which I think we can all relate to. I know I can. Even as long as I've been doing this, making music, I've been making music for 40 years old. I've been making music for 30 years or more, like been playing guitar for 30 years or more, writing songs for a long time. Still have imposter syndrome. Still, like, any given day, anything I make, like, this sucks. This is the worst thing ever. I don't know what I'm doing, even though, like, I made a ton of albums. Some of my songs have millions of streams. I've achieved X, Y, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, there's this imposter syndrome. And, rather than just be like, you know what, I gave it a good shot, it didn't work, I'm gonna head back in and try again. He's like decided to like fake it in front of everybody, and I think there's something to be said there. It's like, look, you are who you are, you're where you're at, all you can do is all you can do. All you can do is your best, and you go out and you do your best, and even if you fail miserably, it's like, okay, well, great, so what, I heard somebody say recently, I think it was Benny Blanco, say like, nobody remembers Michael Jordan for all the shots that he missed. He missed like millions of shots, but all the ones he made are the ones that everybody remembers him for. And so it's like this guy, he just is so consumed with his failures that it's too much for him. It's like, just took himself out because he couldn't, like, the weight of the embarrassment and the shame was too much. And, I don't think there's ever a place in life we should get to where the shame or the embarrassment of making a mistake, because we're just human, it's what we do. We just make mistakes, and then we get up, try again. And, so I guess to say all that to say, like, if you're somebody who's overwhelmed with shame, that's the great thing about the gospel of Jesus was like, he took our shame, he took our embarrassment, he took our humiliation. It's like there's freedom there. There's freedom that we have from that, so we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and carry on, and not get bogged down and miss out on another shot at going for it, you know.